Hi everyone, this is another rough cut of a live lesson that I've had. Hopefully there is something of use that you can take from this lesson.
Okay, grade 12s, let's go. I'm going to try and measure things as I go along. 20 for the top is thickness, 70 length, and then it's a 30-60 degree angle, 20 thickness. The idea here is just to get the reference points on the curve. Chances are you will never get a full circle in an exam to do, only an arch, half a circle. Where I want to start off is with the top view. Go to your top view, get the middle of that slant, draw the center line on there. So I'm going to place my compass on the outer edge of that arched area. Did you notice I now extended the center line so that it cuts through the edge of that arc? I need that, so without that, I also can't do the full construction. Daze, well done, you listened. You split your circle into 12 segments. But do you need to have all 12 segments? No, 6 segments is enough because it's a symmetrical shape. So what's on the one half will be duplicated on the other. You take your compass with that very same radius that you use, which is the construction of a hexagon. Do you remember? So I take my compass with the exact same radius as I'm going to start here. And I'm going to go and use the same radius and mark off there. And there you go. It gave me the 6 intervals or reference points for the dividing the arc into 6 segments. From the center point over there on that outside edge to that intersection, from there to there, 6 equal segments. Now that I have those, what's it? 1, 2, that one I already have, 3, 4. Those 4 points that aren't either on a corner or in the middle, but off center, that point there of my arc is already projected 90 degrees to the surface. That's the key that you are looking for. You just now want to go and draw 90 degrees from those segments that you've created towards the edge of your top view. You can use your set square for this. From here, 90 degrees onto that surface. Okay, so those that you project from the reference point to the surface area must be projected. I like to take those projections to the front. Bring it that way. The rest of my drawing, I must work with my front view. You all know by now that in TurboCAD, if you now right click on these icons on the left, that you can change the properties to default, whatever you wanted. Parallel to the edge of this side and to the edge of this side, you're going to project your vanishing points. So from the SP to the left, and then to that one side to the right from the SP. And then from the picture plane, you take it 90 degrees down. So I'm going to call that LVP, left vanishing point. At the moment, we only have 3 heights, which is the bottom, the middle, and the top. We now also have to divide this half circle into 6 segments. So we go through the process once again. Take our compass, use the radius, which in my case is 35. I just want those 4 increments or intervals. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 heights. Yeah. but the baseline doesn't count because obviously it is at the base, and the top doesn't count because it's already at the top. Heights must be projected to the anchor line. Therefore, I'm going to take my ruler or board ruler, and from those heights, I project them to the main anchor line. We're going to take them now to the vanishing points, also take from the top view down to the SP so that we get the intersection. Every reference point needs to do two things. It needs to go to the vanishing points, but it must also be projected from the top view. And where they intersect, that's your reference point. Here, I want to caution you, do not do all of them at once. Take them one by one. Let's start from the bottom, work our way up. The first one is easy, it's already there. There's the first one that's provided to you. We also need to understand now, firstly, if I were to draw a light construction line straight down, that point where my mouse is now would have been that point on the SP. Do you agree? This is a disc cut out of a square. Do you agree? So if this was a square from there to there, a line, then that point where my mouse is would have been the SP. That point, the SP, is not this bottom of the circle. Do you agree? We still need to now work towards the center. I want to get the highest and the lowest points, and then after that, the point that's furthest to the right and the one that's furthest to the left. Many people, they say, let's get that point because that's the easiest one of the whole drawing to get. Why? Because if it was a square that you just had to draw instead of a circle, this corner there, that point, would have been right there. So you can do that if you want to. So I'm going to use my point tool. I'm going to right click here on that to just change the properties. Point, make it a circle, make it now 0.5. And I'm going to place that point right there, which is the center, that one there on the edge. We just project now from that middle point to the left vanishing point. And I can also do it to the right vanishing point, which I'll only use much later, but I'm going to do it in the meantime. I'm going to call that number 1. Okay, that's number 1, going to both vanishing points. So I have the horizontal middle. Now I want to get the vertical middle. This is the horizontal middle that I just projected. Now I want to get this one, which will show me the vertical middle. From this front middle, I'm going to go to the SP. And remember, you don't have to draw it all the way to the SP. Just make sure that if you were to project it, it would go to the SP. And then take it down 90 degrees from the picture plane, straight down. I'm going to leave it extended for the time being. That will give me the exact middle. I'm going to look at it from there. Now that I have the middle, it's easy to get the far left edge. I have the far right edge. I've got the middle. Now I just get the far left edge. So what I do is I go to that far left edge, go to the SP, and go through the whole process once more. And bring it down. This time I know that it actually will stop at that height. So I know the far left edge will stop there on this middle, because this number 1 is the center line, the middle horizontal center line. The next one that I want to determine is the top and the bottom. I'm going to start with the bottom. To get the bottom of my vertical center line, which means this point here. If that's 1, this is going to be 2. Pause what I want to get. Draw from the SP, the baseline to the left vanishing point. Now, I know how low on this middle line. Do you agree? This is the middle center line going down to that point there. That's where number 4 is going to be. So I can actually erase the X's and just stop that line there. There we go. So number 4 is there. So how do I get the top? I need to go now all the way to there and project it to the left vanishing point, but it will stay on my horizontal line. To get that top point, that's in the middle. You need to go and take that one and just plot it where it is on the horizontal line. The key is it must be straight above 4. So if you worked correctly, it will be there. The top one is 10. So now I have the extents of my circle. Don't you agree? That's what you always do first with any arch, ways they've asked it in the past. They've asked it with the arch of a window at the top. They've asked it with a door's arch at the top. Instead of making it a straight door, they just change it to an arch. They've used it as a garage door that is arched at the top. They've used the braai area that is arched at the top. They've used the swimming pool that lies flat on the ground and then make one of the sides of the swimming pool arch. I have asked a roof section that was slanted into a big archway. That's more or less the different ways that I've seen it being asked. Okay, people, so yesterday I showed you that we want to get the first 4 corners or edges of your circle always. That's the first step to get, because then you just have to get the increments at 30 and 60 degrees. So let's just do one of them because it's the same for all of them. Okay, so if I'm going to do these 2 at the bottom, and then you just apply the same steps to the top. So first thing is that we obviously need to work with these segments that you projected here to the top view, the front edge of the top view. And we're going to work with these 2 that we have projected across to the main anchor line. These 2 give us the height, and these 2 give us the depth. Projection from the top view gives me depth. All the projections from the side or front view gives me height. Follow number 3. All the way to the main anchor line. From the main anchor line, obviously we're going to go to the left vanishing point. Good. So now all I need to do is make sure that I take number 3's line that shows me the depth. Labeling it on the inside to show that it's at the bottom. Number 1, then number 2, then number 3, then number 4, then that's number 5 there. Okay. And number 7. Let's just work with that. We actually only need these ones. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Number 1 is the furthest point, so that must be number 1 over here. Okay, does that make sense? Number 10 is in the middle at the top. Number 4 is at the middle at the bottom. The whole process to get that was just to make sure that when we do our projection now from number 3 here at the bottom, to get that height, we took it to the main anchor line and then to the vanishing point. We have its height position. Now we need the depth position. We just go now and we say to ourselves, number 3 is the one that we want to work with. So it's this one. This must go now to the standpoint to show its depth. And then at the picture plane, we are just going to take it down 90 degrees. Okay, so there's my number 3. A little bit inwards from number 2 because 2 is moving outward and then number 1 is the furthest point on the outside. Okay, from number 2, from the main anchor line to the left vanishing point, same steps, just repeated. And then from the top view, number 2 goes to the standpoint. And from the picture plane, we're going to project it now to the height of number 2. So this is going to be a very sharp corner. So we're going to get our profile there using our French curve. I just want to help you with the bottom at the back as well. So in other words, I want to get number 11 and 12 at the back as well for you. Or it will, in other words, also be, if that was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 and 8. So what I want to do is get a number 2, 3, and 4's points on this side. 4 we already have, so just number 5 and 6 is what we want to get here and here on the left. So 5 and 3's height would be the same, but because they're the same there, I don't have to do the projection again. I just now need to get number 5's position in its depth. So therefore, I need to go to my top view, take 5 all the way to the front of my top view, from there to the stand. And then from there, I'm going to go to line up with 3. So there we go. They've got number 5 on the far end. We took 5's projection, that's there, to the SP, and then at the picture plane, we took that one then straight down to the height of number 3, because 3 and 5's height is equal. And that will give me number 5. So 3 and 5 on the same height, just different depth. Number 2 over here. Okay, yesterday I placed 6 in the middle. It was actually supposed to be 7 because we didn't use a 0. That's where my mistake came in. I should have used a 0 instead of a number 1 at the start. So this 6 here should be also changed to 7. Number 2 and number 6 height will be on the same perspective line, meaning the same height, but we need the depth. So for number 6, we're going to go to our top view, and we're going to say to ourselves, there's number 6. From number 6, we take that now to the SP from the front of our top view's disk. So you will do the same at the top. So I've shown you now the whole process. So I've shown you from the front to the back. Now you can just complete doing the top part. I just want to show you how to do the Bezier tool. Once I've selected that, then I'm going to just click. Dot to dot. But look at this. This is where the problem happens now with the Bezier tool. It goes over that line which can't. So you stop there, you right click and you say finish. Key thing here is to divide your circle into 6 segments on both the top and the side view. And then from the side view get your heights, and on the top you just get your depths. And then you just bring them together. Where they intersect, you are sorted. To get the back edge, all you do is you take the dots that you just got and you project that now to your right vanishing point. And then on your top view, the back of the disk on the top view, just bring that down to the SP. Please remember, you don't need to take all the dots. Why? That's right. Only those that's facing you will be exposed. Okay, there's the memo. At the back, do you see here? You just have to take the dots that you've created, in this case there, number 4, 5, 6 and 7, and you just project those back, and then you just take then on your disk those ones that are exposed here on the right, and then you take them to the SP, and where they interact with those projections you have your dots at the back, and you just draw the curve. The top line and the bottom line will be straight, just to close off the thickness of your disk.